Hey Mochis, what is the limit of what you and your partner would do in a public park? And by that, I mean a very busy park in the middle of a huge city. Welcome to Newsflash, and today we're going to be talking about the blanket couples that have been sweeping social media lately. And like, why? Like, just why? But yeah, for me, if I'm out with my partner, I think I'd maybe go have a picnic, go for a walk, feed the ducks, have a hot dog. Not in that nasty way, you but there was this couple, and I'll just let you see the video, okay? You can extrapolate from it what you want. Alright, like, roll the clip. If that's what I think it is, all I gotta say is parks are for families, okay? Not for family making. Well, if you're like most people in the internet, you're probably assuming the same thing, that they're doing some questionable things under that blanket. And then here's them coming up for air. If they were doing what I think they're doing, it must have smelled so bad. But yeah, this whole video took place in Battery Park in New York City, which is like one of the busiest parks in all of Manhattan. Like, first off, ew, ew, and ew. Second off, I'm pressing charges. Actually, no, it's illegal under New York state law, so they're pressing charges. But let's just take a step back and think, okay? Just outside of this so adult-oriented mindset that we all have. Maybe they're just a couple who's very into wrestling, and the guy is a wrestler who wants to practice his WWE, like, without getting a tan, or they're best friends having a tickle fight, or more likely they're just fornicating. To the couples who do this, why? Like, what the hell were you guys thinking? God, there's like literally kids just like 3 feet away from there, playing in the background of the video, and they could probably hear everything that's going on. Like, what are you doing? Like, I get that real estate is hard to come by, especially in New York, but you couldn't have found a more private place? I say this a lot, but go get a room. Like, literally just go on hotels.com or something and book a room. There's literally hourly or day use hotels. There's like dozens of them throughout New York. Like, I can just pull one up like right now. See, there's one that you can use. Like, I just don't need to be seeing that when I'm out with my family at the park. Or just go back to your own place. Which, because it's New York, might be a literal shoebox. But still, just look at that. Like, that has to be uncomfortable, right? I've been camping before, and laying on a blanket on top of grass alone is already uncomfortable, so imagine doing that. Like, this went so viral that even businesses are trying to cash in. Like, there's this company that makes inflatable tents, and they were like, yeah, look at our tents. They're a great place to f***. Wink, wink. But they might still hear you, though. So are they saying that it's okay to do this in public as long as no one sees you? Even though they can all hear you hear what's going on? Like, you're still in the middle of a park with kids nearby. It's also kind of obvious because I'm guessing with these inflatable tents, just like with the blankets, if you move around a lot, I guarantee you're still gonna see some movement going on. That won't be the only Shake Shack in the city, I'm telling you that. Like, if I were the hotel chains though, you know how I would take advantage of this? I would definitely cash in and offer like hourly rates or like day use or something like that, so that people don't have to use this in public parks. Or maybe open a love hotel. Like, those are so successful in Japan, which also has very expensive housing like New York, but you don't see Japanese people on the street doing that, do you? I am just hoping that this does not become a trend. But, as I say that, I may have just spoken too soon, because another video from New York City also has just recently came out, where it's like people are panning across, and then you see like, you know, kids and their families and their grandparents and whatnot just enjoying the park. And then it pans over to like, oh God. Yeah! New York, like, what are you doing? New York, people fornicating in blankets. Honestly, for humanity's sake, I'm hoping this is all fake and staged, but even if it wasn't, like, that's not okay. Because now you have all these TikTokers and cloud chasers thinking, hey, you know what would get views? If we f in a public park. And from there, you'll get at least a dozen creators who are trying to do the same thing. And eventually, people will move beyond the park and there will be a new trend for places to, do it. It's like, what if we f in the lighting aisle at Home Depot? Is there no public decency anymore? But from that, I do want to talk about how everything in our lives is made to be so adult these days. There's just no escaping it, like even on social media. If we're not searching up this stuff, it just goes viral and then you're kind of forced to see it. It's just exhausting how normalized and accessible that adult content is nowadays. TV and movies and social media, there's just no way for us to escape it. To me, that's one of the reasons that people are finding it acceptable to do this in public. Like, for example, one of my friends is a teacher, and he says that the 7th graders in his class are all watching Euphoria. You know, that totally wholesome show that is definitely appropriate for kids. Not. And because this is so normalized, some people just take that behavior way too far. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a prude, and I think that it's great that people are more open to talking about it nowadays, but just how far do we go? Like, sometimes it just gets a little too much, you know? That's why I'll always encourage people to just take a break, touch some grass, and maybe go for a walk in the park. Okay, maybe not when that couple is there, but still, going for a walk in the park is fantastic, okay? It's great for your mental health. Like, just go do something to rest your brain from all the social media. Adult content is getting to the point where it's so ingrained in our daily lives that it becomes hard to have spaces where it's not really touched by any of that. So, for once, can we just have something sacred and just leave our public parks alone? Like, is it too much to ask to stop fucking in public parks? First off, that's illegal. And second, there's plenty of places for you to do your thing. Okay? Like, it doesn't have to be a public space where kids, families, and grandparents are. Like, can you imagine a granny just explaining to her grandkids what the heck just happened? Like, get a room, okay? It's also much more comfortable. Anyways, my mochis, let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comment section down below, and let me know what's your favorite thing to do in a public park. Appropriate, of course. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, and stay classy, New York.